But right now, prominent New South Wales Supreme Court Judge Ian Harrison has accused Nationals MP Pat Conaghan of racism over his opposition to Labor's Voice to the Parliament. Following Conaghan's speech in the House this week, Harrison fired off an email on his work account to the MP, describing Conaghan's views on the Voice as disgusting, paternalistic and racist. Now, what were Conaghan's views? Well, have a listen. You be the judge.
Enhancements and changes to programs and initiatives can be made swiftly without a referendum on constitutional change that divides a nation along the line of race. Enhancement and changes can be made without the delay that a referendum requires. Enhancements and changes can be made without the cost of a referendum. Positive steps can be taken without unintentionally encouraging Australians to have a conversation that contains the words us and them in place of one and all.
Nationals MP Pat Conaghan joins me now from Canberra. Pat, thank you for your time. Before you entered Parliament, you were a police officer and a solicitor, so you respect the law. I thought that was a very measured speech. I looked at it and I also read it so I could get the context. Were you surprised to get this email from the judge?
Peter, thanks for having me. I was absolutely astonished when I received this email. In fact, I went back and had a look at the email address just to make sure it was genuine. My speech, in my view, was balanced. It was considered. I didn't insult anybody. In fact, I complimented the minister on the work that she was doing. So when I received this scathing email from the Supreme Court judge, I just couldn't believe it.
So he's not a constituent, he doesn't live in your electorate. Who knows, he didn't vote for you at the election, but he's not in your seat, so you don't imagine he did, obviously. What did he have to gain by sending you this email?
Look, that's probably something you'll need to ask Justice Harrison, but what it did demonstrate was that something we've been saying in the coalition for some time now, if you choose to take a different position to the yes vote, then you open yourself up for criticism, abuse, being called a racist, paternalistic and disgusting. And that, in my view, is why many people are afraid to stand up and say no. And it's been happening for some time, and you can see it all over social media, all through Twitter. If you choose not to vote yes, then you're a racist.
It's interesting, I make the point though that the Chief Justice in New South Wales, Andrew Bell, scolded Harrison, criticised him for sending this missive off to you. Now, I think that is appropriate. But just that point about people sort of pulling their horns in, afraid to basically articulate anywhere publicly that they're against this voice, I suspect the polling numbers would be even stronger against the voice, given that position you state, because we've already seen some of those numbers come off in the trend. Now, if you're being polled by a device, maybe you'll speak your mind, but if you're being polled by a human being, I reckon people are reluctant, you know, shy Tory, Trump types, Brexit types. I think people are reluctant to say they're against this voice for exactly what happened to you.
I have absolutely no doubt that that is the case, and I've had a tidal wave of support today. People from all over the country saying good on you for standing up, good on you for not taking a step back from what you said today. And people are also saying, well, I was undecided, but now I've decided, and I've decided no. So as far as I'm concerned, by taking this bullying tactic and labelling people racist and disgusting is going against their own case. And it's simply not intelligent.
I want to pick up a comment you made too, and I said this at the top of the show. I mean, I, like you, and for me it's been 20 odd years, I support constitutional recognition of Aboriginal people. I do think they should be referenced in the Constitution. I just don't think they get extra powers based on their race. I don't think there is this body created. I mean, that's your major opposition to the voice. That's my major opposition. But do you think Australians yet understand this voice is not about recognition anymore?
No, absolutely not. And that's what I said. We're conflating the two issues. I'm more than happy, and I would love to see constitutional recognition for our First Nations in the preamble of the Constitution. I do not want to see another level of bureaucracy or government, supporting a race. And I went around the Northern Territory last week. I was in Alice Springs, I was in Darwin, and then down to Adelaide. And I spoke to people about the voice. And the vast majority of them said, look, it's not going to make any difference to us on the ground. And that's the position I maintain. Let's put in place good policy, good legislation, and start working with communities rather than a top-level approach through government.
You are so reasonable and strong, Pat Conaghan. I hope you get out there now in this debate. It's given you a reason or a platform to help educate Australians about what this is really about. I hope you take it. Thank you for your time.